no, no, I'm fine.
We're already recording.
I'm waiting for the...
We're already recording. Do you need a pump up jam song before we really get going?
No, it's fine. Okay. My uncle was in Vietnam and grew up with World War II stories all the time from just family friends, and just developed such an appreciation for our country and what we stand for and what has been fought to preserve our liberty. And then ultimately, my mother, she came here from Latin America, Central America, and again, grew up with this just profound sense of the American dream that provided my family an opportunity to have a second chance at life. I feel like I just always had an appreciation just ingrained and drilled in my brain to love this country fiercely and to defend freedom fiercely. And I never knew I was going to run for office ever. Like I said, I've always been interested in politics and just current events and history, but I never thought I would be in the running as a candidate in our district. And in Naperville, you had millions upon millions of dollars worth of damage done in Naperville, which is in the 11th district.
I didn't even know what happened in Naperville.
Right, because the media didn't talk about it probably. And at this point, it's not about right or left. Like, violence is violence. And at the end of the day, like, those are the lines that are being blurred right now. It's basic right and wrong. And we don't live in this age where, Tip O'Neill and Newt Gingrich and people can come together and, strike deals and things like that. Like, our fundamental values are being blurred. And that's actually what's helping people come together, because a normal person would look at somebody creating chaos and damaging small businesses and trying to hurt the police and law enforcement as an issue. That's a normal, common sense person.
I was like, do you think a man can get pregnant? She said no. I was like, I don't think you're a liberal. Mm-hmm. It's changed so much. Mm-hmm. It's gone so far left. And again, I think that's what really pushed me into politics. And now I just want to be involved now. And I see things like the sexualization of kids and all these, like what's going nuts on Instagram right now is like all the drag queen shows. What did a drag queen ever do where someone's like, this is a good influential person?
Of what her gender was, because the teachers were basically talking about it. And
I'm pretty sure when I was 8, I wanted to be a dinosaur.
Right.
And I'm just glad nobody, listened to me.
Exactly. And the parents should have the right to parent their child. Didn't really, I don't want to say care or anything, but they weren't hyper focused on this stuff, or even people who have never voted. They're now running for school board. They're getting involved. They're running for state rep houses and even Congress, across the country. And it's really that kind of everyday American that is what our founders always wanted. But I do believe that the tides are turning. And because so many people are now waking up, because again, it's just getting crazier and crazier by the day. And ultimately, it's our country. It's the government works for us. I mean, this is we the people, and we need to mobilize together and take our country back.
Couldn't agree more. I feel like everything, starting with Epstein, I feel like everything from then on, it was just another, let's pull their attention this way. Let's pull their attention this way. Let's pull their attention this way. And then eventually, people stopped talking about things like Epstein. Like, how do we not have Epstein's client list? How is that not
out of my pay grade?
Yeah, like, how is that not out? I just don't understand how that makes any sense at all. But at least we know that Amber Heard pooped on Johnny Depp's pillow or whatever it was. I don't even...
Talking about how people should have Priuses and, electric vehicles instead. It's like, what is the overall narrative here, and what are you trying to push? There's always something. There's always a hidden meaning to these things that's going on, because all of this was a government-created problem. The economy right now, tanking, was a government-created problem. Government shut down businesses. Government hurt the supply chain. Government lack of response created the baby formula shortage. These things are all things that could have been solved had government just not gotten, not for the baby formula shortage, but for the economy in particular, if you just let the country run the way it should be, or the free market,
yeah,
then and not shut down your businesses and allow people to thrive and not put these this billions of dollars money into COVID relief packages.
There are many things that could have been done for people's health.
Yeah.
This whole for your health thing was an absolute joke. And I'm a gym owner, I'm a trainer.
Yeah.
None of that was for my health. Pushing the vaccine was not for my health. Pushing other people to get vaccinated was not for my health. What's for my health is eating good. And no one ever talks about that. No one ever talks about eating right and taking vitamin D and drinking water. All they wanted to do was get everyone vaccinated. And I don't really care what anyone's stance on it, but my biggest stance on it was don't force me to do it. And the whole left side wanted to force everyone to do it.
Yeah, and your jobs were at risk if you didn't. It's so important. And my sister and I have a gut health company for kids. We help them.
Oh, I meant to ask you about that because I just saw you post something like that.
Yes, we have a prebiotic that helps the gut microbiome. Kids either rebuild it or just feeds a healthy gut as a whole. And because right now, studies have shown, and just all the different illnesses that kids have, or if they're on antibiotics and whatnot, destroy your gut microbiome, and it's essentially a second brain. And when that's not working, all these different other aspects of the body and
autoimmune disease and all sorts of things start sparking up. Yeah,
right, and how they manifest itself exactly.
And I was pretty outspoken almost the entire time. We didn't really shut down at all. We did shut down for a small period of time. And then I had people reaching out, hey, are you still open? People who just didn't care. Like a sickness was a sickness, and if you get it, you get it. But anyways, I saw this article pop up, and it said something along the lines of, I think it might have been CNN or MSNBC or something. And it was, turns out there's something good about going for a walk outside and getting some sun. 18 months in. That was a question. Doing the studies, they're not doing the clinical trials. They don't know what actually works and what actually doesn't. It's just like the opioid crisis.
Oh yeah,
that's a perfect example. There was a whole Hulu show on it, and I feel like it's replaying right now. I feel like that whole crisis is replaying, just with a different name.
Going to the gym, like at least for our family, that's where all of our friends are. It's a community thing as much as it is a health and wellness, or wanting to take care of ourselves.
It was so weird, the correlation that people made with the vaccine too. Like, oh, you're not vaccinated, you must be a racist,
right?
Or oh my God, you didn't post a black square, you are a white supremacist. Like, no, I just don't like when people burn things down.
It was just, and now that you see that the heads of the executive directors and whatnot were spending millions of dollars on $1 million mansions, all of that money that the corporations and people gave was being used on that. I mean,
it was multiple mansions, right?
Right.
Multiple mansions, and they were $4 million plus.
Scary, especially about censorship that happens on Facebook or Twitter and
which
whatnot.
Is so real.
Oh, of course.
People
oh my God, it is.
People still think it's not real.
Oh, it is so real.
People still try to tell me that no one's getting censored. Well, when you follow the money, a lot of questions get raised. We don't need to say any accusations or anything like that, but when you follow the money, a lot of red flags come up. A lot. Like, I think I was just watching Rand Paul roast Fauci.
Oh, yeah.
And Fauci was like, legally, I'm not required to divulge any of my, royalties. For Christmas, I had a couple clients, a kid cried because I was like, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? He was like, I just stay home because I'm not vaccinated and my family won't let me come over. And he just started crying.
Sad.
It's
Poor baby.
What is your life like right now? Like, primaries are, so what are the primaries? Explain what the primaries are.
Yeah, so it's where the single party fights amongst themselves. So the primary is Tuesday, June 28th. And, we've been really busy doing our job and knocking on doors, getting out the vote. And just making sure that our message is being out there. And so when people go to the polls, they know exactly who to vote for and why. And we're really proud to be putting in the hard work, having the resources and the support, and having the ground game that we do. So how do we fix it? Again, it's, I think, electing new faces and new perspectives. How have a lot of these people served us? Not very well, considering the majority of them have been in office for 30, 40 years, and look at where our country's going.
You're big on term limits too, right?
I am, yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone that's in the House and Congress right now, I feel like they're all 90 plus years old. You look at, like, how old's Nancy Pelosi?
I don't know, 85.
She looks like over 100.
Yeah. She's been in office for, I think, 40 years or something like that.
She's
on
really
both
good
sides
at the
of
stock market too.
Right.
She's really good at the stock market.
Interesting. Yeah. And, ultimately, who would, first of all, want to be in office for that long? Like, don't you have a family and a life? Like,
my first question to you was, like, why do you want to get into something so ugly? And then she's been in something so ugly for 40 years.
Yeah. And people on both sides of the aisle. Look, there are Republicans that have been in office for way too long.
For sure.
And, you can't solve modern day challenges when you've been in office for that long. Right. But ultimately, it's the people who decide. And that's why, even primaries are important, but getting behind the right candidate in primaries are important, because sometimes all the money involved and all the different politics and people on the back end, purposely try to get the wrong candidate elected. And ultimately, Republicans should be united against the Democrats at this point and the far left progressive movement.
And, you keep saying we the people, we the people, we the people, and that needs to be driven home, because like you said, I think a lot of people have forgotten why they are in Congress. And it's become sort of like a sort of selfish position to a lot of those politicians. So it's refreshing and it's awesome to see someone like you who's really pushing for the people, and just have a little common sense.
Yeah.
We keep going back to the common sense. I thought for sure we were going to fall into the workout talk, because I know you're a workout advocate, right?
Yeah, gym rat.
Yeah, so that's a Jaku massage gun.
Oh my gosh!
It's a little mini one, so you can run around in your, on
so
busy days.
Sweet, thank you.
On busy days like today, and you can use it and massage your legs or whatever. That thing rocks.
Oh my god! I just used we've been using.
Do you have one?
No, a sandblaster from Menards.
Oh my god, no, you got to use that.
Way cooler than that.
Yeah, you got to.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And it's small, but it really does pack a punch.
Oh my, this is so sweet. I just pulled a muscle too, my back.
What the heck did you do?
I know. You know what? I am just so bad. I'm so bad at working out.
I was just hanging that flag that I pointed out the other day, and I had this overwhelming, like, feeling of emotion. Like, I really did, because you can't just hang whatever flag you want in other countries. Like, women can't drive in Saudi Arabia. So it was like a laughing sort of upset moment that I hung the flag, and I was like, I can't believe that there have been people, and there are people now, who associate that flag negatively. Like, oh, that's a racist flag. It doesn't make any sense, because any flag that you are flying it because of this flag. Anything you want people to know, where do they go vote? How do they go vote?
Yeah. Most important thing is to vote. Get involved.
Right.
Be about it. If you want to run for something. Anybody can do it. And ultimately, we get to decide where our country is going. Again, it is about we the people. And we're in these pivotal moments. I truly believe we're in historical times where we get to decide what the country's going to look like 50 years from now. And if we don't make the right choices today, it's going to impact your kids, their kids, my future kids, everybody listening to this. Future generations are going to be impacted the most. And if we don't make the right decisions now, we are not going to be going down we're the greatest country in the world on our worst day. But we need to preserve that. We need to preserve the values. And the only way to do that is by we the people getting together and making sure that we're a part of the political process.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome.
I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah. Catalina, running for Congress.
Yes. CatalinaForCongress.com.
Yeah, CatalinaForCongress.com. 11th
District. Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.